My friends, after that jaw-dropping Season 2 finale of Wednesday, the only question on everyone's mind is, what's next? Season 3 is officially confirmed, and trust me, the number of loose ends they left us with is absolutely wild. We're talking cliffhangers, mysteries, and theories that could go in 100 different directions. Will Wednesday find a way to save Enid now that she's in full-on alpha mode? Was Ophelia trying to warn her with that chilling message scrawled in blood across the walls? And let's not forget, Nevermore needs a brand new principal now that Principal Dort is gone. Who could possibly step into that role? Oh, and what about Tyler and Professor Capri? What's their fate going to be? This, right here, is my favorite moment, the calm before the storm, where we get to dissect every theory, connect every dot, and predict just how insane Season 3 of Wednesday is going to be. Hello Wednesday fam, I'm ExplainVerse, and today we're diving deep into the madness of what's to come. But fair warning, spoilers are ahead. Let's get into it. If there's one arc that has to be front and center in Season 3, it's Tyler and Professor Capri. And honestly, I think this storyline could change everything. Remember, Capri showed up in the first part of Season 2 as Nevermore's new music teacher. Free-spirited, brutally honest, and always sharp with her words. But we quickly found out she wasn't just any teacher, she was an outcast. A werewolf. Then came the bombshell in Part 2. Capri isn't just a werewolf. She's a rare hybrid, the daughter of a Hyde and a werewolf. That dual heritage immediately puts her at the center of Nevermore's biggest conflicts. This gives Capri a unique perspective on pain, survival, and resilience, lessons she actually shares with her students. And one of the most striking moments was when she recognized that Enid wasn't just a werewolf, she was an alpha. Capri knew it before anyone else, but it's the finale that leaves us with the biggest mystery. We see Tyler, alone, broken, visiting his parents' grave, no master, no guidance, completely lost. And then Capri appears, offering him something radical. Freedom, not servitude, not destruction, but a chance to rebuild. She introduces Tyler to a secret Hyde community she's been forming, a group that rejects violence and rejects the twisted bond between Hyde and Master. For the first time ever, Tyler has a real choice in front of him. But here's the big question. What's on the other side of that door? Is this Hyde community truly peaceful, or does Capri have her own hidden agenda? Is she really this guiding mentor, or is she setting Tyler up for something darker? Because remember Season 1 with Marilyn? At first, she looked kind, trustworthy. And then boom, we found out who she really was. Could Capri be following that same pattern? If Season 3 goes deeper into this arc, and I think it will, we could finally see a more controlled, self-aware version of Tyler. Or, on the flip side, he could be dragged right back into chaos under Capri's influence. What do you guys think? Is Capri really a savior figure? Or is she the next big threat? Drop your theories in the comments. I'll be reading and responding to everyone. If you're still watching right now, that means you've been enjoying this video, so don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out, and I'd truly appreciate it. Another arc that's definitely going to be resolved early in this third season, I'm sure, is whether Wednesday will manage to save Enid to get her back to her normal form now that she's turned into an alpha. Because in the second season, Enid finally manages to transform into a werewolf. And the most impressive part, without needing a full moon, Capri, who's also a werewolf, immediately realizes there's something special about her. So she reveals that Enid has traits of an alpha wolf, right? Someone who develops later and has a first transformation marked by a blood moon, and wolves like that are incredibly powerful, right? But they're also greatly feared, which usually condemns them to live alone. In the 8th episode, Enid indeed transforms into an alpha wolf, right? Because she saw no other option, as otherwise she wouldn't have been able to save Wednesday in time. So in the end, she spared her friend's life, and whether she wanted to or not, sacrificed herself too. But Enid's powers are a true double-edged sword, right? Especially for someone who's always sought belonging within the werewolf community. In the second season, Enid finally becomes part of the pack, right? She has everything she ever wanted, but then this new twist in her abilities isolates her again. Alphas are natural leaders, but they're also viewed with fear by other wolves. And now that she's a full-fledged werewolf, will she be able to reintegrate, and how will this affect the bonds she's built so far? And the coolest thing is that Netflix's own site, right, Totem, released some interviews with the Wednesday cast about this second season. And during the interviews, they kind of dropped hints gave some clues about what's going to happen in the third season. So, Enid's actress, Emma Myers, who plays her, said that this is a new, tragic, but fitting direction for the character. She's always fought to fit in, and now she might have to face loneliness again. But it's a new and really cool element to explore within the werewolf cliché. She said she hopes it brings her and Wednesday closer, because deep down they're outcasts, even within the group of outcasts they live in, right? So, will Wednesday manage to save Enid, right? One of the creators, one of the showrunners of Wednesday, made one thing very clear. We fans need to worry about Enid in the third season, because now that she's turned into an alpha, she simply won't be able to return to human form. Or if she does, it'll be through some other path that the script will surely come up with by the third season. And because of this danger, right, they end up being hunted and isolated until death. It's an incredible feat for Enid, but getting out of this situation will be very complicated, one of the show's creators reinforces. But there's still a positive side, right, which is the fact that she chose to become an alpha to save Wednesday, right, even knowing the mortal risks that would bring her. And it just proves how strong the friendship between the two is, man. Female friendship is the soul of the series, right? The creator of the series, Van says. Wednesday and Enid had their ups and downs this season, but this act of sacrifice was the perfect climax for Enid's arc. And the show's creator said that if it were the other way around, Wednesday would have done the same thing, right? If it meant sacrificing herself to save Enid's life, Wednesday would have done it. And I'm not the one saying this. These are the words of the Wednesday creators, but thankfully Enid isn't alone. She has Wednesday's brilliant mind by her side, and armed with Agnes's information, the two set off in search of solutions. And Myers jokes, right, that Enid will be stuck as a wolf living crazy adventures in Canada, but at the same time, she starts a journey to figure out how to return to being human. And of course, she counts on Wednesday's help to get back to normal. In other words, we'll have Enid a bit out of place at Nevermore in this third season. This isn't just a theory, right? The actress herself commented on this, that her character will isolate herself, stay in wolf mode for a good part of the third season, head to Canada, which is a completely different place from where they are now. So it's very likely that in this third season of the series we'll see more scenes outside of Nevermore than inside. But comment below your theories about Enid and what's going to happen to her, because another interesting thing is to hit that like button below. Man, take advantage of the fact that we still have plenty of theories to discuss in this video. And another arc I'm really excited to see developed in the third season, and I have a great theory about what's going to happen with her, is Aunt Ophelia. This woman finally showed up, because the big surprise of this finale is the fact that Ophelia, Wednesday's aunt, is alive, and she's simply being held captive by her own mother, right, Grandma Frump? But man, why did Grandma Frump do this? Why did she do this to her own daughter, keeping her locked up for 15 years? Because during the second season, right, Morticia and her mother, Hester Frump, talked several times about the disappearance of Morticia's sister, Ophelia, who had been missing for 15 years. And just like Wednesday, she also had complicated psychic abilities and ended up being admitted to Willow Hill before mysteriously disappearing. Do you remember those black tears Wednesday had in the first part of the second season? Well, Aunt Ophelia went through the same thing at Wednesday's age. And Morticia recounts, right, that back then it happened during school, right at Nevermore when they were young, around Wednesday's age. And she said she saw Ophelia in the courtyard with those black tears, and after that she was admitted to Willow Hill and disappeared. Actually, she didn't disappear, she's in her mother's captivity. But in the final moments of the season, Morticia hands Wednesday Ophelia's diary, and as she flips through it, Wednesday is struck by a vision of her aunt, a sign that reconciliation with her mother was beginning to restore her psychic abilities. And thanks to that vision, Wednesday discovered, right, that Hester Frump always knew where Ophelia was hidden, and her aunt was locked in the matriarch's basement, man, where she left disturbing scribbles on the walls, right, including creepy messages. Aunt Ophelia simply wrote the infamous, "Wednesday must die." Man, what does this mean? What's going to happen in the third season regarding Ophelia and Wednesday? Man, I have no doubt that in this third season, Ophelia will have a central role. I don't even think they've chosen the actress to play Ophelia yet. I think it has to be someone big because she's an important character. So much so that they only showed her from behind. Right, precisely to not reveal the actress yet because they probably haven't decided. But the message, "Wednesday must die," written on the basement walls might seem like a threat, but maybe it's a warning. Man, that's my theory. Ophelia, with psychic abilities similar to and possibly more intense than Wednesday's, suffered so much from her visions that her mind became fragmented. And when she was admitted to Willow Hill, she began to see the future, but in a distorted way, right, with very vivid nightmares. Man, but what did she see? A tragic fate involving Wednesday, perhaps linked to a greater threat looming over Nevermore. That's why she wrote the message in desperation, trying to warn in the only way she could. And Grandma, knowing the destructive or prophetic power of her daughter, decided to keep her hidden, fearing that the impact of her visions on the world would destroy everything, man, including her own family. And now that Wednesday is starting to recover her psychic abilities, as we saw in the finale of this second season, she'll be able to decipher Ophelia's message in the best way possible. And trust me, it's not literal. Just because Ophelia wrote "Wednesday must die" doesn't mean Ophelia will try to kill Wednesday, or that Ophelia is a threat to Wednesday. We know that's not how things work with this script. It could be the key to preventing an imminent disaster, right? And the phrase in the basement might be the clue to uncovering the real enemy that's approaching. And another question that won't go away, and I already have a good theory, okay? After Principal Weem's death in the first season, right, Dorr took over? But his strategy to keep the school open was to secure a large donation, right, manipulating Bianca and Grandma. But with his defeat, right, he went down, Nevermore is left without leadership again, and Agnes informed that the school is on the verge of closing, and the season ends making it clear that the students are caught in the middle of the school year without knowing if Nevermore will reopen. But one of the show's creators, right, during these interviews about the second season said that yes, Nevermore will return for the third season and will have a new principal or director. But he didn't reveal who it will be. He only said it'll be a big surprise for the fans. It'll be some character we might already know and wouldn't expect. And my guess, my theory, is that it'll be Morticia, man. It's what makes the most sense right now. Because with Weems's sudden exit and Dorr's failed attempt to keep the school and the imminent closure of the institution, the presence of someone with history, prestige, and a deep connection to Nevermore becomes necessary. Morticia, a respected former student, a member of one of the most traditional families and now directly involved in the school's mysteries, would be the perfect choice. Besides, the season already started laying the groundwork for this. Morticia reappeared with more screen time, had important conversations with her mother, and showed she knows the darkest secrets of the school and her family's psychic lineage. And with her working at the school now, directly involved with the students in this principal role, she could also keep a closer eye on Wednesday, right? And it's very likely that Morticia doesn't know about her sister, that Ophelia is locked in her mother's basement. She probably doesn't know about that. And when she finds out, she'll want to protect Wednesday at all costs. Imagine, her sister writes, Wednesday must die. Morticia, as a protective mother, will try to protect Wednesday in any way she can. And as Nevermore's new principal, she can keep an eye on Wednesday 24/7, watch over her, and protect her family. So, what are your wildest theories and expectations for Wednesday Season 3? Do you think Enid will fully embrace her alpha side? Will Capri turn out to be a savior or a threat? And what about Tyler? Can he really change? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I'll be reading and replying to as many of you as I can. That's going to wrap it up for today's video, Wednesday fam. If you enjoyed diving into these theories with me, make sure to hit that like button, share this with your fellow fans, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss any of my deep dives and breakdowns. Until next time, stay spooky, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I breathe.